Va salute. This is Troy Pacelli of Last Call, and I'm just here to let you know that the following live stream is rated R for adult language, highly inappropriate jokes, and oh, who the are we kidding? We have no idea what is going to come out of Gorilla's mouth. Viewer discretion is advised.
Friday night, 8 p.m. sharp. If you're sensitive, log on. Gorilla got a mic and zero hesitation. No filter, no breaks, no HR consultation. You never know what's about to fly. One wild sentence and the sponsors cry. He'll roast your fit, your job you take. Turn one small slip to a full-on quake. We say, maybe chill. He says, nah, now the group chat's yelling, delete that, bro. It's reckless, loud, unplanned delight. We clock in chaos every Friday night. We're bruised but alive at 8 p.m. live. Dirty jokes flying soon as we arrive. If you're soft, don't subscribe. This ain't PG vibes. We just talk our mess and let the truth collide. Bruised but alive on a neon light. Waltons reviews every Friday night. Germ in the back with a cynical tone. Half his humor sound, emotionally stoned. He don't yell, he just aims and fires. One dry comment cuts through the wires. He'll breathe in deep like he's tired of life. Drop one line sharper than a butter knife. A low energy, maximum damage deal. Make you question choices you ever fail. PvP sliding smooth with a grin. Little side jab, then he vanish again. He ain't loud, but the timing precise. Quick one-liner, now you're thinking twice. Leans to the mic like I shouldn't say. Says it anyway, now HR on delay. Subtle assassin with the casual heat. Sneak disking from a swivel seat. Yeah, it's wild. Inappropriate vibe, crossing lines, but we're still on the same side. Bruised from the weak, but we here to revive. Laugh through the chaos just to survive. We're bruised but alive at 8 p.m. live. No script, no filter, just Friday night drive. 3 loose cannons and a mic on fire. Talking that talk till we all retire. Bruised but alive, that's the headline. Waltons reviews every Friday night.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to another Waltons review, where tonight we only got PvP because Germ fell in the shower tonight. Got a shampoo bottle stuck up his ass and had to go to the hospital. Oh, there's Germ in the chat. Hello, Germ.
Hi, Germ.
Germ couldn't join us tonight, but he could join us in the chat there. But tonight we are reviewing the episode today, and I have a feeling I'm gonna get clipped out of here. I'm gonna have to walk around eggshells because this is one of the rules that YouTube actually monitors pretty closely here, because we're gonna be actually looking at in-depth racism in the South here with this episode here, so we're gonna be having to walk on eggshells, but we'll try anyhow. We'll navigate it anyhow. Great PvP.
Hey, Gorilla. Well, I didn't think it was overtly any racism in the episode. Personally, it was kind of more.
No, they didn't address, or they weren't racist in the episode. But they're addressing like the stigmatisms there. Like they wanted to, they're saying they couldn't go to some other places, like they'd have like the church, and the school and all that. They had to go to a specific home for black kids.
Yeah, I mean they did address it in that way. Nothing. Well, there was that one scene that was a little bit more overt, but we'll get there when we get there.
Go
Yeah,
for
by
it, Roy. I haven't had a good ass kicking in a while.
Germ's gonna take that shampoo bottle and whack you over the head with it next week. You know that, right, Grilling?
Oh, yeah. I thought
And
you were
I
gonna
bet
say
he
he was
won't. I
gonna
bet,
do it on fire.
I bet he won't even wash it before he does.
Alrighty, so all right. Welcome, FGHC 2005. Welcome, goes hail.
Hey there.
What's this week's dirty joke going to be? Let's
Here we
find
go.
out. And in this, Walton's grandpa Walton has relations with the chicken, served it to the family. Don't ask what the secret sauce is. Well, did we have this is giving me deja vu because I don't think like chickens have well the head I think the roosters have or Suzanne would need her because she explained this because we were talking about this and was making a corkscrew joke about the duck stick when we were talking about this because roosters don't have a pecker they have a hole themselves for summer. I don't know. I'd have to ask Suzanne. Yep, and hey Gerb. And hey Scurvy, how's it going? And they got a new they were trying out something new here. They do got a poll thing. I think you're
Hey,
just
Lemon.
supposed to type in 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat for what you vote for.
Weird.
So we're gonna see this. Yeah, well, back next week I'll actually be able to see myself as I kick your ass. All right. Let's see. I don't watch these. I learn all I need from Tim Summers. Oh, nice. Thanks, Kirby. Demonetized.
Well,
I was demonetized. As soon as I
you
hit
know,
go live, I was demonetized.
you did have Chinese food. So if you had chicken with your Chinese meal, you bet. I hope the sauce wasn't what he was saying it could be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. So let's go ahead and start with our prologue.
is there any
Looking
way you can
back to
take the
1930.
can you take the thing that the white box down off the screen, or is that permanently in the picture now? I'm talking about the
I
poll
can
thing
take it off.
because I mean I don't really need to see
wait.
it. So
Will that be work?
I don't know. It's going to block part of the image, is it not?
Hey,
I don't
maybe
need to
it'll help
see.
with my maybe it'll help
Yeah,
stop the copyright claim.
could be.
I'm gonna try it because we'll see if this
Give it
helps
a
stop
shot.
the copyright claims.
Let's just see what happens.
Because I've been getting fucked by Warner Brothers. There, they weren't even nice enough to use lube, but when they copyright claim me
Again. So
all right, so
like doing that pretty well every episode, or do they do it less often? No.
they do it every episode.
Jeez.
All right, so
That's so
looking back to 1939 on Waltons Mountain, I had to span a chasm far deeper and wider than nearly 40 years of time. Customs and prejudices that were acceptable in those days have gentled into a greater justice today, but they were part of that time, and to remember them any other way would be false. It was then, too, that my youngest brother Jim Bob entered a phase designed to drive the rest of the family to exasperation, a time when nothing stayed in his head for very long. Yeah, but problem with the Jim Bobby, he was dreaming about airplanes and all that, all that. Like when I was his age, I was dreaming about getting my dick wet, but
yeah, he was kind of out of it in this episode for the most part. He didn't even seem to be thinking about girls, so that was really weird.
yeah. So yeah, and it's nice that they're doing these scenes here without that aren't in the actual episode anymore. they're doing like those teaser scenes. At least now they aren't in that actual episode.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, because like Elizabeth wasn't looking at these footprints here, and she goes, "They're different," you know. And then she notices a soul and five toes, you know. He goes, "Yeah." Well, then John's like, "There's plenty of footprints." Well, no one's been barefoot since the last rain,
Right.
so they track those footprints.
So Elizabeth was doing her what was it, Girl Spy or whatever that book she was reading a few episodes ago. Remember when she had the eyeglass out and she was looking at everything?
Yeah, that's that's a little bit of a callback to that.
Yeah, exactly.
There, let's see that. So we got Jim Bob here. Uh, apparently, Corbett and uh, Corbett
Ike,
and
Ike.
Ike there went away for like a week or so. So he's working at him, and he does the dumb thing. He climbs on the shelf and knocks a bunch of shit down. Why doesn't he just grab the ladder that Ike has?
He's Jim Bob. That's
Yeah,
why.
so where he comes in and asks him, blah blah blah. She thought the whole damn shelf came down. She would say make a comment about the whole. For some reason, I cannot get the subtitles.
Oh, you can't get the subs to come
So
up?
anyhow,
Is that on maybe on the website that you've got pulled up? Maybe their subs aren't working.
yeah. But they come by and they see that their garden's been ransacked. You know, there's carrots and tomatoes thrown everywhere.
Well,
They
you know,
can't
if you're
figure
not
out.
gonna yeah, if you're not gonna eat the tomatoes, why throw them around like that? That's kind of dumb. Jeez, what a waste.
Oh, I threw some carrots around too.
Yeah, well, if you're not gonna eat them, why do that? I don't get it.
Okay, I gotta pull up the transcript.
You see, I would vote in the poll, but the rating I would give this isn't listed on there. So,
What's that?
well, I don't think I could even go up to a C- on this one personally. I could vote for
I'm
I could vote for
Yeah,
stupid shit, I guess.
so yeah, since I can't pull this up here. Oh yeah, Verdi was talking about she has to go. She asked Jim Bob if he could watch their garden and stuff because we gotta go help her. Go help her sister because she broke her ankle.
Right. Yeah, Jim Bob, multitasking.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. Oh yeah, so they're blaming Jim Bob there for all the. So here they're blaming Jim Bob, and they're saying his head's just not right. They think it was Jim pulled all the vegetables out, and they say that boy ain't right in the head.
Yeah.
Or
No,
his
the
head
great,
anywhere.
great still of Elizabeth here, girl. Man, that is scary. That's what she's going to look like in 15 years when she gets married and her husband pisses her off.
Yeah. Yeah, this is poster worthy right here. Well, we have 4 chats coming.
Oh, that's scary.
Can I stuff the bell in the poll like I did on the YouTube one? 4 3. You may want to change the ticker in the background. Oh, no, I suppose I could.
Do 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 do.
No, it looks like you can only vote once there. I think they got her locked down. But it doesn't tell me how many people vote. but the ballot is stuffed. So anyhow, freaking Olivia's pissed off, and she's like, "I swear to God, that boy, I'm gonna fucking scream. That boy tells me I didn't think there, but I declare I'll scream." Which didn't we establish that I declare means fuck you in Southern?
Well, it's not a positive thing when somebody goes,
Well,
I
I know
declare.
I know. Bless your heart. There means go fuck yourselves.
Sometimes bless your heart means like you're retarded. Well, I guess I shouldn't have used that word. Oh well.
No, it means go fuck yourselves in.
No, but I've heard
in
people use that. I've heard people use the phrase "bless your heart" when they mean, "Oh, you're so simple," as in simpleton.
Yeah. So anyhow, they're reminiscing how John Boy was one of them. There, that always has his head stuck in the star.
Uh-huh.
And now they get to it there that they find the basket in the middle yard there, and they only find three eggs there, and they're confused and all that. So they think that Jim Bob. I don't know why Jim Bob's the only one getting blamed for all this shit here. But the thing there, and then they're talking about the vegetables there.
Well, the thing is, what is Jim Bob going to do with the rest of the eggs anyway? Like, I don't think he's going to eat them raw. I don't remember him throwing eggs on the side of any buildings in the episode. So what's he going to do with the eggs? I don't know about you, but I prefer my eggs cooked. Well, I had a friend once that used to. What was that movie where the guy drinks raw eggs, puts them in a glass, and there was some action movie I think back in the 70s or maybe a Schwarzenegger film or something. And I had a buddy that used to do that. He would like drop a couple of raw eggs, crack them into a glass, and stir them around, and then he'd drink the bloody thing. And I'm thinking, yeah, I bet that didn't taste very good. He seemed to think it was healthy, though. I don't really think it probably was, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, so you'll have to grab it. All right. So then John goes to the fish. He notices the straps to the fishing. Then he's like, "That damn boy." I swear to God. He said he's gonna womp that boy. So by saying he's gonna womp that boy, does that mean he's gonna have him go pick out his own switch?
Well, I don't know. It means he's basically going to probably give him a beating of some sort. Probably just probably just beat his butt, basically.
Yeah. The John fights this one. Then apparently she just washed that, but they found it in the barn there. They're all thinking it's Jim Bob, but it's like, yeah, I would be thinking that someone's been coming around, someone's hanging around that shouldn't be. That would have been my thought.
That would seem the logical conclusion to the situation, but I think kind of the Ma and Pa here are kind of written kind of out of character in this episode. They usually don't jump to conclusions quite as quickly as like right at the start of the frickin' episode like they did here. Especially Pa. I could see Livy jumping to a conclusion occasionally, but usually Pa is going to mull it over for a couple of days at least before he makes up his mind that something is actually going on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I keep forgetting the
writing.
Yeah. And Germ says that was Rocky. Now
that's it.
Rocky.
Yeah, my friend saw Rocky and he was a big Rocky fan. That's it. Thank you, Germ.
And hey, Kevin, how's it going? Welcome.
Hey, Kevin.
All right, back to our episode here. Now, here's the thing: Grandpa brings the peaches up. He finds all those catfishes on there. Now, I love catfish. I actually, if you remember watching the movie Blue Lake, that's where they show in that movie where I caught my first catfish there.
There you go. You
And I
never
love
post,
how
did
Grandpa
you ever
Sweet. Go
did
ahead.
you ever post any fishing videos? I don't remember you posting fishing videos.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I must have been a while back because I don't remember them.
I haven't been fishing in a while.
Mm.
But Graham comes and screaming, look at these string of beauties. He takes him over the sink there. And Olivia's like, who was it that taught me that a good sportsman always cleans his catch? Graham was like, oh, yes, he did. And so I will, daughter. He's talking about how they're splendid and all that. Then they're
Now,
John's asking.
did they
What?
even mention that when they found the catfish? Did they even mention that Jim Bob would have left him? Because they're blaming him for every other thing that happens. I don't remember them mentioning. Well, when they found the catfish, I don't remember anybody saying, "Oh, Jim Bob must have put him on the steps."
Yeah, oh yeah, they think he did.
Did they mention it? Okay. Sometimes an episode just flies by and I don't remember every detail. So, okay.
Yeah. Then he's like, let's see, he thinks he's an airplane, blah, blah. His head's, the guy's like, did you put my damn fishing pole back? Or why didn't you put my fishing pole back? He's like, I didn't catch him there, and he didn't touch his pole, and he thinks just the pole waters off. There. And because he says he's down at Ike's the whole time, and he couldn't feel a quarter in his shoe or however much it was in his shoe. Maybe it was a 50-cent piece. But anyhow, they spot the blood here and the poison on the floor on the ground there. And so they follow the trail of blood all the way back to the barn. And John finds his fishing pole there with broken string on it. So then they point to the haystack there. There's some blood on the haystack. Is moving. And here we get introduced to Josh. Now, do you recognize this kid?
He looks vaguely familiar, but I don't remember him in anything else.
I can give you a hint. You'll know this hint right off the top of the head. What are you talking about, Wills?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
I never watched that show because it didn't appeal to me.
Yeah, he played Willis Drummond on Different Strokes.
Okay.
This is the first time we see Josh. The next time we see him, he'll be played by an actor named James Bond III.
James Bond III. Wow, way to saddle your kid with a crappy name there, parents. Jesus. Would you want to go through life going, I'm Bond, James Bond III?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you feel like a tool when you checked into a hotel or something with that name? I bet the receptionist would have a great time. She'd be like, oh, it's nice to see you, Mr. Bond. You don't look the same as you do in your movies.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes amazed at the names that people will give their kid, though. Some names are just so horrifically weird. I just think, were the parents like high when they named this kid? Like, seriously, man.
Yeah. So, hey, it's going pretty good. Well, I'm glad it's going pretty good, Kevin. My sister went to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie today. I might watch it tomorrow with the kid. So he goes, "Get up here, boy!" Boy, they're talking. He goes, he's he got a fish hook in his head.
Yeah, it's a different strokes connection. Now that kind of triggers why I was not overly impressed by the acting ability of this kid. I never liked different strokes. I didn't. It wasn't exactly a high acting show. The few episodes I actually did see, I thought it was pretty cardboard cutout kind of comedy show, basically. And I never thought of this kid as an especially good actor in any way. Like he's adequate. Like he's not flubbing his lines or anything, but I thought the character needed more. Like if they'd had a really, really excellent actor in the role, I might have really enjoyed this episode a bit more. But that's just me being nitpicky, I guess.
Yeah. So anyhow, he hurt himself. He got a fish hook stuck in his foot there. I never had it in the foot, but I had one in the cheek and in the side of the arm.
Cheek sounds painful.
Oh, it wasn't painful, but like that one was the kid's fault. Fault
Okay,
there.
you got okay. We need a backstory on that. How did the kid put a fish hook in your cheek?
They got in the way when I went to go do a long cast, and I had the cheat. I had the thing, like I had the lot loose line there because I was doing some bobber fishing, and I went to go back, and when I went to go fling forward, the kid guy got in the way there, which caused the bobber to get stuck for momentarily on the railing of the dock there. So it caused it to bounce, and the hook bounced into my cheek.
Weird.
Because I keep my
Wow,
hook sharp.
that doesn't
I keep
happen
the
very
hook
often.
sharp.
So you, for a minute or two, you knew how the fish actually felt when you catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fish don't feel anything.
I don't know. I'm not a fish. Do you know what
Yeah.
fish feel? I don't know.
Yeah. So anyhow, John's sitting here working on pulling it out here, and
Self.
what was it? Olivia was saying
Something else.
You got a fish hook in your foot, there ain't nothing else.
But anyhow, you ever notice that he talked down? He talked to John with respect, but he talked down to Olivia. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I guess when you mention it, I hadn't overtly thought about it, but I suppose that's a point to make. Yeah. So you're talking an episode that's about racism is also about sexism?
Well, not sexism there. I think he just has a problem. I think he's had a lot of problems with women in his life. Because he does mention it.
Haven't we all though? Come on, haven't we all? That's no reason not to like him. I'll give anybody a chance. I don't care if they're a woman. I mean, actually, if they're a woman, they might even get a bigger chance. If they're hot or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, sidetracking.
So Jim Bob brings him some soapy water. Then Beryl comes by the trailer, learn about the fish there, and he goes, "He's doing surgery there, John." And John's like, "I can handle a fish hook there." I don't know if that's a moment of pride there, or John pretty much almost had it out.
One problem I had with when the doctor and Aaron showed up. Not Aaron. Oh God, I'm forgetting her name. Since she's hardly ever in the bloody series anymore. You know who I mean. The doctor's wife. What's her bloody name? God, I can't remember the character's name now. That's terrible.
Curtis or Mary Ellen?
Mary Ellen. That's the name I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
Oh, come on. We've only bitched about her for 6 seasons. How can you forget her name?
But she's almost never in the series anymore. Like after she got married, it just kept dropping off, less Mary Ellen as the episodes went by. I have a problem with this scene because the only reason the two of them show up is like, well, why do they show up is my question. Because if the doctor had said, "Oh, that looks like it's pretty badly cut there, better put some of this rubbing alcohol on it," and he pulls some rubbing alcohol out of the vehicle and
Well,
doses the
well,
kid's
for a
foot.
second, I thought they were going to have him come check out the cut on his foot.
Well, something, right? Like something, some reason for the doctor to even be in the scene, but of course that doesn't happen. I'm like,
Well, well, no, they came over for dinner, is what it was.
oh, was it dinner? Oh, geez, I missed that too, I guess.
Yeah, they came over for dinner. They pull it out and it shows his. Then
I tell
he
you,
asked him. He asked if he wants to keep it. He goes, "It's not mine."
if you have feet that dirty with an open wound that's bleeding, you should probably put something on it because that could really get infected. And I actually, one time I stepped on like a nail in the parking lot, went right through the bottom of my shoe. Thank God I was wearing my crappy old shoes. And I went the next day to the drugstore and I got a shot for what is it?
Tetanus.
That shot, tetanus shot. Yeah, because I talked to the health nurse on the phone because we got a free phone line where you can call and talk to a healthcare provider, basically a nurse. And I said, do I need to go get this because I stepped on this and this happened? And she's like, yeah, you probably should. So I was there the next day, and luckily, there's no charge here because the medical plan covers basic inoculations like that. So I'm good for like a number of years still. I think they said like it's good for like 8 years, so I'm probably good for another 6 at least.
Yeah. So they're asking him if Fields aren't here. He's like, "No, sir. Got name, Josh, blah, blah, blah." He wouldn't tell him the last name. Then he asked his name. Then I love this here. You could tell it was the. Yeah, you could tell it was. Oh, I'm gonna get clipped for this, but you could.
Uh-uh.
I wouldn't even have to look at the screen. I could tell it was a black kid there when he asked, "She your woman?" And John's like, "She's my wife."
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the kid sounded a bit racist there, but I mean, I know he's not meaning to be racist, but it's just his upbringing. That's the way he says.
Yeah, he's
expresses
like, "My
himself.
God, you did that all right." He's looking at Elizabeth and he says that. He goes, "Oh, Daddy can." Oh, right. Well, he goes, "Dad can do anything here." They're gonna go. But John offers him the Fisher. He goes, "Ain't mine." He comes to the sheriff and he's hesitant to go into the sheriff's office. And he knows that I'm guessing he got beaten in his life because he keeps asking, going, "You gonna hit me?"
Well, there is that undercurrent of racism in the episode, but thankfully they don't beat us over the head like they would in a modern show, right? It's just
No, they do. They do this right. They address the problems of society in the 30s, but they do it respectfully.
exactly, and they address the issues that a member of a minority might have dealing with the ways of the world back in those days. But they do it, like you said, respectfully. And like now, can you imagine how woke this would be if they did an episode like this today? They'd be banging us over the head every 5 minutes with some message, the message, just to make us feel well. They'd be really hitting on white guilt for sure. White guilt, all those evil white people. I'm sure that would be a big part of a modern TV show. So I like that they just went like Eddie Waltons, the sheriff, Pa, they're good, responsible, respectful, decent human beings. Doesn't matter that they're white guys. And they treat Josh, like they treat him with respect, as much as a little kid like him deserves. They do. And they address the scenario, but they don't hammer it over our heads, right? So I'll give that's one thing I will give to the episode, actually, Gorilla.
Yeah, let's see. Jeremy says, "I hope it wasn't the ass cheek." Nope. I haven't got. I haven't gotten a fish hook in the ass yet.
Okay, so you'd have to be casting naked to get a fish hook on the ass cheek.
Or just be where. Well, no, I've had fish hooks catch the clothes and all that, but not catch the skin. But the fish hooks will go straight through your shorts, no problem.
Well, that's good to know. If I ever start casting, I'll remember that point.
Yeah.
And
So anyhow,
anyway, go ahead.
yeah. So anyhow, they talk. He keeps asking him questions. It turns out he's from North Carolina. So I don't. He didn't say what part of North Carolina, but he walked through North Carolina. There, even if it's probably the northern part, all the way through South Carolina, and it ended up in northern Virginia. So he did a long walk there, and Eb said he's gonna look around, but in other words, he ain't gonna do jack shit.
Well, that's the thing when you're young, though. I remember I used to be able to walk. I could walk for miles when I was a kid. I could walk and walk and walk and walk for hours, and I never even got tired back then. Jeez, boy, to be young again. Ugh. Yeah, if I had the knowledge I have now with the body of a young person, I would be feeling mighty good about things.
Yeah. So they look around. The John's working on the thing there. He gets some lemonade, aid there. And he comes in. He's asking about this thing. And he talks about the printing press, and he starts picking up. He's admiring the shed. Can you imagine being so impressed with something like the shed, like a shed? Which, granted, that is a big shed, but
it's a pretty nice shed, though. It's not like, just throw some firewood in the back behind the house in the shed. It's actually kind of a nice little room. It's kind of a nice little, almost like a little, what would you call it? An apartment, though. What do they call those apartments that are tiny? Not a one bedroom, but a bachelor pad kind of apartment thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a studio apartment.
Yeah, studio. Yeah, something like that. It's small, but it's still nice, right? So
yeah. So he starts picking it up there. He's admiring the bed. Then he goes to like it. He asks me why he sleeps out there. They said he could, but then she said it's a bath time. And she goes, man, God.
Busy with this here soap, and it'll all be over with before you know it.
Takes all of you to watch me.
That's right. We got other things to do, so just get a move on.
Get
a move on,
peeking
kid.
out at me.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question here. This is one scene that I kind of had to think. What's
Nobody's
going on
gonna
here? The thing is, why does the black kid get to wash in the wash tub here? He doesn't get to have a bath upstairs where the Waltons have their baths. Like, is that racist?
No, I think I don't know why they've been doing it there because they got a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
I don't because they have Jim take a bath out here too.
Still, you think it would have been easier just to put water in the bathtub than to.
Maybe they just didn't have the set available. I'm guessing they didn't have the set available or something.
Yeah, just saying. This did seem a bit. I thought this scene was a bit, just a bit strange when I watched it.
Yeah, but anyhow, well, that woman's. Let me pull up this. So blah blah blah. But anyhow, she's pretty much about cleaning there. Apparently Grandpa only takes a bath every Saturday.
A lot of people did back in those days.
Yeah.
I think my grandparents would bathe the kids once a week on Saturday nights too. I think I remember my mom telling me that because they had a son and there was the son and two daughters, so they had three kids, and they'd have to take a bath Saturday night, and they'd all share the water. Boy, how nice is that, eh? Yep. I'll have to get in the same tub. Anyhow.
Well, would you want to keep hauling water up from the stream?
No. They had running water. I mean, this is like the 1940 somethings or whatever, early 50s or something. They had indoor plumbing by then.
Yeah. So anyhow, they're talking about they want to raise him, but they're talking about they got to find his parents or find a place for him there. And the longer they keep him, the harder to get away from him. They want to keep it. Like Olivia really wants to keep him. She's getting attached to him, but then they stop going to the place they like the church and school and all that other stuff. Blah blah blah.
Well,
Just like sleep out. Like,
isn't it Pa that reminds her like we couldn't go? Then we can't go to church, and Ma's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
When she realizes what Pa just told her, right? Because he's right.
And here's where they take him to the Jefferson County Home for Colored was it colored people or colored kids? Because actually, I do want to show this because they did this a couple times here. So they go in and they slowly read in. They focus on the sign there, but they wanted to emphasize that this was for colored children.
Colored children. Well, that was not uncommon back then. I mean, just like back then, didn't they have colored restaurants and didn't the movie theaters put the colored people up in the balcony seats, like high above the white people back?
Yeah, in the back of the bus. Yeah, in the back of the bus.
Yeah,
their own
the
drinking fountains.
whole thing back then, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So he knocks on the door and she yells at the kids. She goes, "You're gonna like it here." And he keeps looking at John. John's just kind of like, "Yep, come on, take him." And she did that one thing that annoyed the shit out of anybody here. I always hate that when people just grab your cheeks like that and then they guide your head. Like, I always hated this. I wanted to smack the people.
Well, adults seem to think they can do that crap to kids, don't they?
Yeah. But
hey, it's like it's like when you grab Jethro and start patting him, and he's like, "Don't grab me like that." Sorry. Just saying though, it's like if it works, if a kid don't like it, maybe the cat don't like it. That's all I'm saying.
So anyhow, John's like, this is one of the hardest things I had to do, and Olivia's like, that's why I didn't go along. And it's kind of like blah blah blah. And then somehow he ends up back up here.
Well, he ran away. He didn't like it at the colored children place.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It seemed like the lady was nice, and all those other black kids, he might have made a friend or two, but oh well. He didn't give it a chance. He just ran away the same day. I think part of his problem is himself, though, because if he'd stayed at the children's place, he might have fit in there after a couple days once he got to know people. Like he did not give it a chance. I don't think he did anyway.
Well, he's become attached to John.
That's another problem. I understand why, because John's a nice man, but John knows that this ain't going to work.
Yeah. So anyhow, they ask him to stay there, and he's like, "The dark thing." He goes, wander back here, and these guys go, "Suppose you haven't eaten anything?" He goes, "He hasn't raided the henhouse garden ball." No, ma'am. And he's been shining his shoes and apparently been being good. Here. And so Olympia's gonna go fix him some breakfast and that. And he felt like he's just back in North Carolina again.
Speaking of Olivia fixing breakfast, I saw an interview with her. I think I watched a year or two back, Gorilla. And one reason she ended up leaving the show was she got to the point where the writers were she was just like in the kitchen. If she wasn't cooking breakfast, she was washing dishes and she just got to the point where she felt her character got so marginalized by the writers that she didn't enjoy playing the role of Olivia anymore because she didn't find it interesting because the writers were just kind of marginalizing her character as the series progressed towards the last you know time she was in it. I think she does leave. Is it next season? Because there's a whole subplot there, which I don't want to give spoilers, but you probably remember what I'm thinking of, right?
She left in season 8, and I think she came back in season 9.
Okay, because I remember she left due to an illness. Is all I'll say.
Yeah, well, no one's gonna remember season 8 from now. Unless they're
Well,
watching it, unless someone starts binge watching it.
and we get Grandma back next year in season 7. Is that correct? If I remember.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the last season that has any continuity to earlier years when we get Grandma. And even then, Grandma isn't able to do a heck of a lot, if I remember. So.
Yeah. So anyhow, she's gonna go fix some dinner, blah blah blah. Oh, he's sitting there talking about how the ladies kept arguing on who's gonna take him and all that. It's kind of reminded me of the freaking hotel that the one guy owned downtown there, and when he died, all 6 kids were fighting. Now, got their lawyers and they're fighting. Oh, I should get the hotel because of this reason. I should get this reason here. Then they found a meth lab in it. Then all of a sudden, no, he should take it because of this reason. No, she should take it because of this reason. No, since they found the meth lab, nobody wanted it. They're all fighting for it until they found the meth lab, then nobody wanted it. So for some reason, he's starting to wash the porch, which I don't think it is. And Olivia's going to teach him how to read and all that. Elizabeth apparently is sick. And I noticed he always carries the boots around, but he never wears them.
Did you find that as annoying as I did?
Oh, not annoying. There's kind of like a reason behind it.
Yeah, but if I had a nice pair of boots, I wouldn't be walking around barefoot in the dirt.
Yeah, but you gotta remember he's been going shoeless for how many years?
Well, that's a valid point. Still, he's got to break those boots in someday. So what's Grandpa got going here? Like, okay, I forget this. He's doing some wood firing thingamabob.
Oh, he's getting the fire going to start smoking a bear there. What's blowing on again, going in here?
Oh, down there in that big holler. You know how I caught him? Well, I will tell you. You know, bears, they like honey. They like honey better than anything in the world. Well, sir, I went down there in the holler where the bear was. He was snuffing around there eating blueberries or something. And I got me an old bee tree, and I put honey all over my hand, real thick like. He reared up on me. He was as tall as that old poplar tree over there. And he rushed toward me, his eyes glaring and sniffing my honey. And I reached out and pow! Hit him right between the eyes. He never knew what hit him.
You know, then he tells him that just a little, don't try it just yet. Try it with your little one. That's one thing. Grandpa is a wonderful bullshitter. Reminds me of my uncle. My uncle is a great bullshitter too.
Well, that's one thing. With age comes wisdom and also the ability to be a great bullshitter. But he's not going to try and stick parts of the bear meat in there, is he? Like, it's very tiny. Or is he chopped up the bear into little bits or something? I don't know. I'm confused at this scene. I thought you need something bigger to smoke a bear.
Smoking?
No, if you're
I
going to
could
cook
smoke
the
a
bear,
bear in a fridge. Yeah.
huh?
You could smoke if you once you cut up the bear and all that. You could convert a whole fridge into a smoker there and smoke it inside a fridge. That thing's that their smokehouse is plenty big.
Okay, I'm
Hey,
missing
if he
something
tells you
here.
anything you need, he'll grab for you. He'll grab for you. Here he's
I'm
sitting
missing
there
something.
watching John. He's watching the mess being made there. Then he's reading to him there, and Olivia's impressed. He goes, "What kind of boy lets you read to him after he already knows how to read or teach you how to read?" So he's just letting letting her teach him. He's acting like more dumb. Then they come in here and they're impressed at how clean everything is. He wiped down the entire sawmill. Like I think they knew. I think they kind of already knew who did it, but they're joking that they have a magical elf and all that. Here the boys get chewed up. I can't remember I can't remember exactly what Ben was doing, but Jim Bob was like, "Oh, I forgot there, blah blah blah." Yeah, it is there. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. They don't get, and he tells them, "Why don't you get to work?" And then they notice how clean everything was. So I think their job was to clean the mill. And Ben here kind of chews his ass there because he's doing everybody's chores is the problem. So I think the only reason they might have a problem with that is because that almost make him kind of like a slave, doing all this work. And was he really getting for it? Yeah, they're giving him a place to stay, but it's not like they're paying him or anything.
Well, he's
And they're
also
gonna keep him around.
he's eating their food as well, so
Yeah.
not like he's a slave. Besides, he
Well,
volunteered to clean the mill. He wasn't commanded to clean it. He wanted to clean it. Usually
yeah. Well,
slaves,
the
usually
only reason he wants to do it is because he wants to please John.
well, that's a good enough reason, isn't it?
Then they talk about how Verdi's a nice lady and Harley's a fine man there. They talk about Jody's about Jim Bob's age, blah blah blah. They find him and he apparently fixed the leak under the thing there, blah blah blah. And John just flips out.
You're working at Ike's, you're working here. When are you going to start working at home?
The hose had a leak, so I taped it for him.
I don't care how many jobs you have. You got work to do at home. Now go home and get started.
Yeah, so John there sits there. And here, John, this is the first time we see all kinds of fishing stuff hanging out there. And hey, you're home. Yeah. Hey, I got a bone to pick with you. That rabbit left a bunch of turds around here late night Saturday, so you better find out what else he left here.
All right, I'm already checking my room and the bathroom.
All right, where were we? Sorry about that.
You noticed all the fishing gear that Ike has now purchased for his store.
Yeah, so it must be like springtime there, and he was admiring it. This fishing rod, it's a real nice one, but like that was a fine one for that day. But those types of I hate those types of rods or those things. Then he took you here.
It's spare time right now.
Josh, did you take this from Ike's store?
Yes, I did.
Come on.
That's kind of like the they did the stereotypical. See, he doesn't realize what he did was wrong. Where you have to pay for the stuff before you can take it. Where he in his mind he can take it before he can. Then he'll figure out how to pay for it later.
So you're saying he's a socialist?
No, because the socialists won't pay you back.
No, but it's like Wimpy with Popeye. It's like, I'll gladly have a burger today, and I'll pay you tomorrow.
Yeah. No, can I have a hamburger today, and I'll pay you on Tuesday.
Exactly.
So anyhow, he makes him go and confess to Ike there. He made him look Ike straight in the eye and confess. That's your sister stuff there.
Now, what Ike should have done, he should have sent him to the back where Cora Beth is and had Cora Beth lecture him for an hour. That would have taught the kid never to ever steal anything again.
Well, no, I think what John did was way worse than getting lectured by Cora Beth, because you can tune Cora Beth out eventually. But Ike's like, what he couldn't do. What do you think we should do with them? Leave it up to John. John just told him, I'm ashamed of you. And he walks away.
Yeah, well,
there.
He should teach him that is not the thing to do. I still will get put the fucking boots on already. Anyway.
So anyhow, John's like, I shouldn't have told much. And here John has to pay for the meal. It's $28. So $28 in 1939.
Good. That's a good month's rent, isn't it?
Well, that's to pay for the mill.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically $631.21.
So it's basically like not like
$648.11.
Not like monthly rent on your home, but it's like a monthly payment to the bank.
Yes.
Oh, well, this.
He
Okay,
took out a loan to pay for.
Another problem I have: why wouldn't Pa just drive into the bank and deposit that in person? Why is he going to, numb nuts staring at the sky through the whole episode that doesn't know his face from his ass, and Pa hands him over the money?
Because I think the writers were. Well, I think what the writers were going for was shut up.
I don't know what the I don't know what the writers. And wasn't Kathleen Height? Didn't she write this too? Like, wow, she's usually a good writer, but not this time.
But no, they're portraying John throughout this whole episode as being very busy because they're going to Charlottesville to get that army contract.
Yeah,
he has to go get that army contract.
Why didn't he just give it to, like, I don't know, Ben or somebody? Because Ben would have been far more reliable. Hell, even give it to Grandpa and let Grandpa drive into town or something. I mean,
Yeah. So anyhow, he goes, he'll get it, blah blah blah. He goes into the town and he finds Jody here getting pushed around. Ben tells him to knock it off, so they kick him into the ground and start pouring beer all over him.
That's the one. That's the one. When I mentioned it earlier, girl, that's the one overtly racist scene in the episode.
Well, I don't think it was. Well, they might have started that, but they didn't.
Well, they're only attacking the kid because he's a black kid. That's what I saw when I watched it. Anyway, if it was a white kid, I don't even think they would have noticed him when he walked down the sidewalk.
Yeah. So anyhow, they find it and he's talking about it.
Sorry.
He tells him he's proud of him, but he's pissed that he lost the money there. Blah blah. Then Jim Bob's all pissed off. He has to take his bath, blah, blah, blah. And Jody's washing his clothes, blah, blah, blah. Here they fix him. John's trying to make up to his best. They wish they could keep Josh, but he can't. But they feel they can't. Like,
Not realistic. They got enough kids to worry about anyway, for crying out loud.
Hey, Dad, did the Easter Bunny leave anything else?
no, I think that's about it.
Hey, I'm just gonna check.
It probably left pellets on the floor, just like when a girl mentioned the rabbit.
I don't know, if you clean the house, you might find something.
Maybe you'll find a chocolate egg, but I would say don't taste it immediately.
Haha, very funny.
So they took him Verdi. Verdi thinks that Chip was about to be able to find a home for him, blah blah blah. They talk about the baths, how they're just playing. What made this scene way better? If they would have had that statue they threw in Drusilla's pond, kind of sticking out in the background.
Did they even have that anymore, though? Like, I know the studio props do tend to disappear, do they not?
Yeah, they probably don't have it, but it'd been cool to have it in the background.
Oh, it's always cool to have references to previous episodes. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but he's just saying that they can't keep him, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. It's a nice heart-to-heart talk, blah blah blah. And, this one almost teared me up here.
I'd change things if I could.
All right, night. Notice how he told me. You know, his heart broke, and I think that breaks John's heart too. I think that's breaks John's heart having to do this here. He shines up the thing there. Oops. Anyhow, he's still shining the shoes and he doesn't want to shine. But see, he actually put them on. And Verdi says she's going to adopt him. And he has tears in his eyes that John has to walk away. Blah, blah, blah. So Verdi adopts him. And she goes, I think you'll be happier. And she's like, the people don't understand. They live in kind of like a black community. And that thing there, they don't understand them, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much it for the episode. So, we're going to go to our epilogue. Just found his place to belong to. And he grew up to have much to be proud of. To this day, Josh speaks of my father with the deepest affection and regard. We often laugh together about how he came into our lives during the time that Jim Bob Head was on vacation. Alrighty. So, what's up?
You owe me something?
Just a kick in the ass?
No, $2.
I'll get to you after the stream.
Okay.
Later. I'll get to you later. Alrighty. So, PvP, how would you rate this episode?
I found it extremely boring. It was one of the only episodes I don't think had any kind of B story at all. At least I didn't notice one. And by the time I got halfway through it, I was almost wishing there was a B story because it might have made it more interesting. I didn't like this. I mean, I know that it's a well-intentioned episode, but the writing was flat. The scenes were boring. There was no really good dialogue amongst the cast. The kid was adequate, but I didn't find anything special in his performance as an actor. Oh, I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to give this one a D. I did not care for it. It bored the heck out of me. By the way, I can't even find your damn poll anywhere to even vote. So I don't know what
You
the
just
hell
gotta
that
type
poll.
it. You just gotta type it. You gotta type in a number 1, 2, 3, or 4
Where?
in the chat.
Okay.
But as for me, it wasn't that bad. But it's one of those that's also like, do I want to watch it again? Nah, not really. It's enough for me for the day. Oh, can you turn off the light for her? Owen, can you go turn off the light for her, please? Thank you. It wasn't too bad. Like, I'm gonna give it like a D plus. Like, we get introduced to a new character. There's some life lessons in it. It does just good way of addressing like the racism of our past, and stuff. So I'm gonna give it a C plus. It looks like everybody in the chat here is just here to hear stupid shit from me. So
That's
but
where I voted because there's no D level, and I had to give this one I'd give it a D plus, but there was nothing in this episode I enjoyed watching, Gorilla. I didn't hate it, but I watched it. As the minutes ticked along, I was like, okay, this is more boring than anything else to my mind. I get the message of the racist angle, but I just didn't think the writing for a Waltons episode was subpar. All the characters, none of the characters were really that interesting. None of them were engaging. Ma and Pa were, well, Pa was kind of good, but Ma was kind of like, cooking food or whatever. And Jim Bob was just like the clueless wonder staring at the sky. And I was like, okay, I can't even connect to that character in this episode. Like, he's just out of it. And then the rest of them, like, Ben and Elizabeth were like barely there. So, and even Mary Ellen and the doctor, like, they were there for what? They were in the episode, like, what, maybe a couple of minutes. Like, I don't know. It's just like this. I did not connect with this one, Gorilla. Usually I give a decent rating. Usually it's in the C or B's at least, but this just did not do it for me.
yeah, but that's our review. Thanks everyone for coming. PB, what you got going on?
Not much. I probably should do some more cleaning and cook some food and go to bed later. So yeah, nothing much exciting going on tonight. It's getting to that hour anyway. It's like getting like 7:45 at night here. So getting to that time where there's probably not many more hours in the evening before we hit midnight. And usually by the time we hit midnight, I like to think about maybe getting some sleep. Anyway, what about you? What are you up to over the next couple of days there, Gorilla?
Well, I got a bunch of stuff that'll be coming for the channel. I bought a bunch of new drinks and all that. I found pineapple jerky. So that'll be interesting. I'm gonna try to get on Netter's Network one of these days. But we got the Silverback Lounge on Sunday and Tuesday there. Maybe Thursday I might be on Netter's things. So with that, everyone have a good night, and just remember.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded. In that. No.
That's gonna be a soundbite. They're gonna put that to mariachi music.
No.